and this is titled Technology in Support of Black Lives Matter. Since the murder of George Floyd, Toye Onikoyi of Muse Interactive has been working on an AR/VR experience that uses empathy and technology to help people understand one another. Toye will join us to share his vision for the soon-to-be unveiled Justice Room, which will allow users to experience, compare, and contrast the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s with the Black Lives Matter movement of today. So Toye, I believe you are with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Really excited to see what you're working on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and just thank everybody who's joined in to hear the talk. And Christopher, that was a really good presentation. I'm definitely looking to link after this, talk more about AR and just fun tech stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay. Share. Okay, can everybody see my presentation? Just want to make sure. Okay, so my name is Toye Onikoyi, founder of this company called Muse Interactive. Now, with Muse, we really try to create interactive products. One of the products I'm working on is the Muse Mirror, and another product that I'm going to talk about today is the Justice Room. And really, when I start thinking about like Muse Interactive, like the first thing I really try to just put in my head is like things that are like impossible. I try to think about magic and how I could bring magic to reality. So that's like just kind of like the kind of foundation of like when I'm thinking about a product. It has to do with Muse Interactive, something that no one ever seen before, and how can I bring magic to reality? And another thing, also is empathy, and I'll talk a little bit about that more later. Other things about me, I have been volunteering at River, Rhode Island Virtual Reality for about 2 years. Suli, great friend of mine, she runs that. And we've been doing a lot of great things over there. And basically it's a meetup group where in Rhode Island, where you could learn about virtual reality, augmented reality, see other people in the state who's working on different products. Last year, we were actually part of Hack 401, and that brought high schoolers into Infosys. And there was a bunch of other things that was going on, but we got to teach them about virtual reality in one day. They were able to make a virtual tour, and that was just really cool just to see the kids like learn and understand about augmented reality, virtual reality, and all that cool stuff. Also, I have here Right Solutions. I'm a software engineer, been there for 4 years, straight out of college, a great company in Middletown, Rhode Island. I would say, like, I'm doing this entrepreneur stuff, trying to, make the best out of my company, but also I am working 40 hours a week. And I think that's really important to mention, because some people feel like, oh, I can't work and start a business at the same time. And I could say that I'm definitely going for that. So I definitely want to encourage people who are thinking about entrepreneurship and have their 9 to 5, like keep your 9 to 5. One thing that helps me is time management, just really learning time management. And I learned that on the job. Like I got better at it on the job. So the job really prepares you, it's like the blueprint to, launch your own career, in your own business. That's a little bit about me. Just gonna continue. So empathy. I think empathy is really important. And empathy is really just the ability to understand and share feelings of another person. Really just trying to understand where another person comes from. And in tech, I feel like the tech entrepreneur has a bigger responsibility than like any other entrepreneur for really trying to understand people. Like I simply feel like, you know, the tech entrepreneur really has that responsibility, and tech is really made for us to have like better lives. Like the reason why we have tech is to have us be able to just have a better life and an easier lifestyle. So I feel like, you know, empathy should really be a part of it. And I feel like a lot of tech startups right now um, are really focused on metrics and the money and jumping in it because of, okay, tech is cool. Let me try to make a lot of money and do all this, you know, metric stuff and data. But I feel like empathy, if a lot of tech entrepreneurs thought about empathy, I feel like you could have greater success in really understanding more people and where their backgrounds come from. And little example from that is, remember when Snapchat first came out with the filters? And when it first came out, um, other friends with lighter complexions were able to use the filters fine in any lighting environment. But for me, I would have to be outside with the sun out, you know, for the filters to actually come on my face. And I thought that was a lack of diversity in their room and their development. So I feel like, you know, certain like certain stuff like that um, is just really important for tech companies to really think about empathy and just everybody in general. And I'm just gonna continue. So a little bit what I'm gonna talk about today has to do with, you know, social justice and police brutality. And I feel like right now it's something that cannot be ignored. Um, it definitely cannot be ignored, especially, you know, a bunch of recent things that have been happening. Um, so I was working on one of my products called the Muse mirror. And then after the George Floyd death happened, I decided to kind of shift gears and kind of use my AR and virtual reality, you know, skills that I learned to be able to, you know, do something in that kind of space. So I kind of just came up with a couple ideas and really try to use AR and virtual reality to kind of like use and express myself through that kind of sector. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about AR. And AR is really just the overlay of virtual objects in the real world. As you can see, you know, Pokemon Go is really popular AR application that a lot of people used. That was just an example of augmented reality, and it's really just putting digital things, content in the real world so you can see. And virtual reality. Virtual reality is really interesting, especially to me as being a creative. Virtual reality is like being fully immersed in an artificial, like digital environment. And like virtual reality is really cool because I feel like you could be a true full creator if you're developing virtual reality content, because you could literally design like a whole world for people to enter in. Like you're designing like this whole immersive environment, and you could put whatever you want in the world. And I just feel like, you know, there's a limitless possibilities with this technology. And something that a lot of people don't really hear. It's kind of like a new buzzword word. It's mixed reality, and similar to augmented reality and virtual reality, but it's kind of like a combination of the two, where you're actually able to interact with the augmented digital content that is in the world, and they're anchored in certain positions, and kind of like a new buzzword. But I feel like in the coming years, mixed reality would probably be the kind of overarching word that kind of encompasses augmented reality and virtual reality. And so I'm going to be talking about more mixed reality stuff and how we use it in Justice Room. So the Justice Room. So we created an immersive experience by allowing you to walk in other people's shoes, giving people access to empathy like never before. So one of the things that kind of got me thinking about empathy and using it with augmented reality was when I went to the African American Museum in Atlanta. My mom lives down there, so when I went to go visit her, we went to the museum, and there was this one section that I was able to sit in a chair, and it shook. The chair was shaking, and you had to put your hands on the table, and you put headphones on. Try to visualize this one as I'm saying this. And the idea was you had to close your eyes, and it was trying to put you in this immersive environment about the sit-ins. And the sit-ins was basically, a movement in the 50s and 60s when Black people wasn't allowed to go to certain restaurants. So they would go and sit in at these restaurants, even though they wasn't allowed to. And while they were in there, they were getting heckled by the workers and the other people who were allowed to be there. So I'm sitting there, put the headphones on, and then like you could spatially hear like somebody in your left ear saying like, "Get out of here," yelling racial slurs, and like your chair's rocking because people are like pushing the chair. So you're like really like you're just feeling that experience. So I opened my eyes and I looked to the right of me, and there's this lady who was crying, and I could tell that she was really, like the empathy really just grew in her, and she was able to build that kind of empathy and be able to see like, okay, this is something that I've never experienced before. I heard about these things, but I personally never experienced it before. So she had the ability to experience it as I had the ability to experience it. And it was a really interesting experience in general. But one of the things that I thought about doing that was we had to close our eyes. We had to visualize it. So what I want to do with the Justice Room is be able to open your eyes and have that kind of same experience, but have augmented reality, augmented content, and digital 360 videos to be able to display that. And that's what we're trying to do with the Justice Room and similar technology. So I'm gonna play a video of it. It's an application that we're working on, and I'm just gonna play the video.
Sisters and brothers, don't we love just like you do? Aren't we doctors and lawyers, actors and artists? But our skin is darker. Does that make us any less human? Is that why you are afraid of us? Humiliated?
Say his name, Trayvon Martin. Walking. Say his name.
You say all lives matter.
Unarmed man murdered.
But if that's true, then why don't ours?
So that was a Justice Room, a little clip of it. So basically, it's a portal. It's a virtual portal that you actually have to walk in. So I was holding my camera with the application running, and the digital content popped up on the screen. It's the augmented reality. So I had to physically, with my phone, holding it up, walk into the room. And then when I was in the room, I was fully immersed with digital content, and that's the virtual reality, and that's the mixture. So on the left, there was all videos and pictures of the Black Lives Matter movement today. And on the right, there was videos and pictures of the 1950s and 1960s civil rights movement. And what I was trying to do there is kind of just compare and contrast and see like, this is still a problem. The pictures were similar. And to think that 40 years later, that this is still an issue that people are fighting against. Me, it was definitely shocking just to, building this and just thinking about this. Also, some other things that I did not show. There is a button to see a 360 view, and that once you press that button, it puts you into 360 march, or one of the Black Lives Matters march. And that video was actually made by another Rhode Islander who has a virtual reality company, and he sent me that video. But yeah, that was pretty much the Justice Room. Also, the videos in the Justice Room were made by Rhode Island video experts. One of them is a good friend of mine, Keem. He does a lot of video in Rhode Island, and Rue was a person that I reached out to after making this Justice Room, and he was glad to send me his video. And they had already made videos about the Black Lives Matter movement, so I kind of just like talked to them like, hey, can I use this in my app? And they were just really acceptive of me doing that, and it was just great, talking with them and working with them and hearing like, their stories. So I really wanted to work with all Rhode Island creatives on this project. So I'm definitely glad that I found a few really dope people who can make some great content. And feel free to follow them. So this is another room that I actually made a couple of days ago. It was Kobe Bryant's birthday, and the day after, city in California dubbed August 24th, Kobe Bryant Day. So what I did during that Kobe Bryant Day was make another room called the Mamba Room. And Kobe Bryant, literally my greatest influence growing up, on and off the court. Very inspiring for me. His will to just be great and just grow is just so inspiring to me. So I'll just show you a little bit about the Mamba Room.
Kobe taught us to be better. Wake up every single day to get better today than you were yesterday, whatever it takes. Better dreamer, better waker, better stretcher, better walker, better talker, better walking the walk and talking the talk. Better blocker, better sprinter, better loser, better winner. Just be better. Do the simple stuff right. Better form, focus, better friend, better fighter, better rider, better eater, better leader, better generation, better nation. Just be better. Can you do that? Let's go. Back at it. Better player, better shooter, better scorer, better coach, yep, better coach, better mentor, better minor, major, mover, shaker, better scanner, better artist, yeah, better teacher, better preacher, better believer, better first, better future, better hero, again, better hero, better mother, yeah, better father, better father, better father, better father, better father, better me, better you, better us. Mamba out. Better. Clear.
Breaking news, very sad news to tell the sports world. The LA Times is reporting that retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to
yeah, so that was the Mamba Room, and for that I really wanted it. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. I really want that to be like a celebration of his greatest accomplishments. I wanted you to go into the room and see from his draft from Lower Merion High School into the NBA to his fifth championship that he won. I really want it to be a celebration. Um, but yeah, that's that. Um, okay, so what is next? What do I have next for the Justice Room in this empathy technology? So one of the things, I want it to be more accessible to people using WebXR technology, so people could just be able to click on a link and be able to experience, the empathy experiences that I'm trying to create, and more content. I want to have more content, collab with more creatives who make 360 videos. I want to make 360 videos myself, and just collaborate with as many people as I can to kind of create this library of experiences. And how I also want to go into is training, simulation training, geared towards empathy. I feel like the police departments around the country could definitely use some empathy training. And I feel like that'll be a great way to maybe understand how uh, a person might be, how a person might feel of color being stopped by a cop, regardless of their record, regardless of anything that may make them feel unsafe, but simply from the color of their skin. Just me growing up being African American in America, being stopped maybe because I ran a red light, gives me a lot of, apprehensive feelings. So I think simulation training, not only police department, but other departments, anything that has to do with dealing with people. I believe empathy training can definitely help and understand where people are coming from. Um, Even mental health, I feel like mental health would be a great sector for this. Understanding people who may have schizophrenia, understanding people who may be autistic. I've also seen this 360 video called The Party, and I definitely highly recommend anybody who is interested in this kind of technology to go on YouTube and look up The Party. And it was a video about this girl who was autistic at a party, and you could literally, you were her. So like when things started going a little crazy in a party where to other people they were getting excited, she was getting more kind of secluded to herself and feeling more apprehensive. And for me, that was really an eye-opening, because I've never experienced that at a party or with a huge gathering. So now I'm going to be more empathetic and be able to see like other people who may have certain um, just have different experiences, to be able to understand them. Also, um, I believe like in even skin diseases, being around maybe somebody who has a certain skin disease that you may have not seen before, being more empathetic and being able to experience it before being encountered with these people, so you don't, make them feel uncomfortable, because no one wants to feel uncomfortable. I feel like empathy is really the answer to that. Next, yeah, guess I'm done. So the first is my email, Onikoyi, musemirror.com. You can email me if you have any questions. My Instagram, my company's Instagram, Muse Interactive. And if you wanted to, get plugged in about the Justice Room, you could go to that link right there, put your email in, and, we'll give you updates on when we're going to put it out, and, just new empathy experiences we're going to be doing.
Awesome. This is great, Toye. Thank you so much. A really powerful project you're working on. I just want to let people know there's plenty of time for Q&A. So throw your questions in the chat. We'll get to you. Opportunity for you to ask Toye a question. I'll ask the first, one or two, but I have a few lined up. Really cool. And something I didn't think about until your presentation just now, really like this idea. I mean, especially in the justice room, I really saw this intersection of art and technology. It's not just a virtual experience, but really you're building and designing an experience that is very artistic. And so was wondering if you can talk a little more about your creative pursuits, your influences to do that and bring in the creativity and the art into this experience.
Yeah, I would say like just the people who, I surround myself with. I know a lot of creatives in Rhode Island. Just like I said, I'm pretty good friends with Keem. I know different people who have clothing lines and who run events in Rhode Island, and just being surrounded by different people who are creating just makes it really easy to kind of just keep that creative spark going and be able to bounce off ideas from different people. And people know, like, I'm in tech, so like yeah, I would say like the people that I'm around. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it really opens up a whole new world of artistic expression. So, especially with the skills that you're bringing into the picture. So super cool. Anthony Brito has a good starting question. You want to ask that, Anthony? You there? Or I'll just ask it for him. What is the Muse mirror that you speak of?
Oh, okay.
You want to give a little background on what Muse mirror, on the etymology of that?
Yeah. So the Muse mirror, it kind of started out, it was like an anniversary gift to my girl, and it was I just kind of thought about her and at school, and like I kind of just try to put things on the mirror that she was like interested in during her day. So like her calendar events, she was from Jersey, so like her trip time from home and like different things, and like she posted it, and a lot of people was like, hey, I want one too. So from there, I kind of just really thought about like what I really wanted to do with the mirror. And right now, I'm just focusing on like people's day to day. How can this smart mirror connect with their lifestyle in a kind of like a seamless way? And you're able to do certain things like connect with your Alexa and be able to play your music, be able to watch video tutorials, and we're creating a library of exclusive tutorials where you're able to learn makeup, able to learn fashion, and do different things with that. And actually looking to use like AR with the Muse mirror and kind of get into dermatology to be able to track your skin, during the day. And yeah, that's a little kind of summary of what we're trying to do with the Muse mirror. But it's basically an IoT product, a mirror you can put on your desk, you can hang it up on a wall, and it just connects with your lifestyle. I think you're mute, Avi.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna ask one more question, then we'll get into a couple that are in the chat. You talked about this a little bit at the beginning. This business is kind of a side hustle, and you talked about balancing it with some project management, learning that on the job and pushing through. Any other insights in how people can kind of get a side project off the ground and still balance their life?
Yeah. One thing, don't feel pressure from other people. Um, go at your own pace. I feel like if just go at your own pace and know what you want to do first. But I think going at your own pace, I feel like a lot of people get apprehensive and feel like, okay, this person's on his own and he's going a lot faster than me. But I feel like if you are confident in what you're doing, and if what you're doing really um, encompasses like empathy, like I was trying to say, like, yo, I feel like empathy is a better way to success than metrics. Like if you are really understanding empathy, I'm serving this person, and this person. I feel like you don't have to worry about time. If your product or your service encompasses that, I feel like you go at your own pace and make your product, the best you can.
Cool. Cool. Thank you. We have a question from Victor. Victor, are you there? Do you want to ask your question? Want to mute yourself? Well, Victor has a question on the specific technology platforms you're using to develop the Justice Room and the Muse Mirror.
Yep. So the thing with the Muse Mirror, I wanted full control. I feel like when people create applications, um, I feel like that is great, but I feel like you don't have full control when you create an application because you're still putting it on an app store. You're putting it on the Apple Store, you're putting it on the Google Play Store, and you still have to succumb to their rules and guidelines. So with Muse, with the Muse Mirror, I created my own app store, and I wanted to have that freedom. And most of the development that I've done with the Muse Mirror, it's all JavaScript based technologies using React Native and React and developing that. The Justice Room, I use this game engine called Unity. Um, it's a lot easier to create augmented and virtual reality applications and experiences using Unity, a game engine. So that's what I pretty much use for those two things.
Cool. And as you get this app off the ground, do you see it as like a paid app that people will pay whatever a few dollars per download as your kind of the business model?
Yes, that's what I was kind of looking for, and kind of like just joining different experiences within that.
Cool. Brian Morley, do you want to ask your question? I know you're there, Brian.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. This is a great tool, and now more than ever is something like this needed, obviously, with what's going on in the world. And I know you're mentioning about like getting this into the hands of police and some other folks. Are you also thinking kind of further up the stream, for like long-term investment, if you get this kind of tool to, create empathy and perspective to like children? Because I see a tool like this being like a staple for every kid in America to really understand, what's out there and why they need to kind of think differently and act differently, because kids are moldable, right? A lot more moldable than adults when they've kind of formed their opinions. So what's your thoughts on kind of that and utilizing this tool to kind of help mold the future?
Yeah, that is a really good comment and question. I did not think about that, but I definitely will think more about that. And if you wanted to connect with me and talk to me more about that, I would definitely want to learn and hear your thoughts. I feel like any way where you could like teach somebody, these kind of things, and like I feel like there's two ways to look at empathy. You can look at it as it is what it is, or you can look at it as a skill. I feel like if you look at it as a skill, it's something that you could get better at. So when you're looking at it like that, and as you're saying with kids, if you start them off really young, and they could really, grow this skill of empathy. So by the time they're of age and communicating with more other children, they're already their skill level of empathy would be so high. Yeah, there'll be less friction and more just understanding of other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And then if you think about, who could adopt this, and that's, different kind of educational programs, I see this kind of fitting in really, really well into that, because it's a need, right? So,
Yeah.
so nice work.
To take it further, what do you see is the kind of the next couple steps for you? Are you planning on launching this and making it public, shoring up the technology, expanding the existing experience, joining Accelerator, kind of to think about the bigger picture?
Yeah, all of those things. All of those things. I probably need a little guidance as like maybe what I would do first. I would say that I would definitely need like guidance on like, okay, what would be a suggestion? What would be my best next step? But I would say doing all of those things is something that I definitely am looking forward to.
Really appreciate you coming on today. So thank you so much. And I hope that we can follow up with you in the coming months and to see where this heads, or see other new ways that you're approaching this.
Yeah, great. I'm definitely, interested in, talking more about this. And I just thank you guys for having me. Thank you everybody in the comments. Thank you everyone who, had the time to just hear what I've been working on. And I definitely appreciate all that.